I will take few minutes. I want just to explain something quickly, just in few minutes. I want to explain some verses from 1 Corinthians chapter 11, starting from verse 3. He said, I want you to know that the head of every man is Christ. The head of woman is man, and the head of Christ is God. Let me start by the last part. Head of Christ is God. God means the Father. Is there difference between Christ and the Father? No, because they are equally in honor. But why he said the head of Christ is God? Because the Son is begotten from the Father. The Son is begotten from the Father. Then when he said the head of every man is Christ, because man was created by Christ. The head of woman is man, because man was taken from woman was taken from the rib of man. So when he said the head of woman is man, he doesn't mean that man is superior, because otherwise we would say God is superior to Christ, but God is not superior to Christ. So when he said the head of woman is man, means woman is created from the rib of Adam. Head of Christ is God, because the Son is begotten from the Father. Head of man is Christ, because man is created by Christ. Then he said, every man praying or prophesying having his head covered dishonor his head. Why? If I'm covering my head, then I'm covering Christ. You can say, why Abuna wear this? This is not a covering. This is called the crown of priesthood. You can find it in the Old Testament in the garment of Aaron. He has the turban on his head. And you can find it also in the New Testament, in the book of Revelation. The 24 presbyters have 24 crowns. That's why when some priests used to wear ta'iyya or shamla, we said that's wrong. Then that's a covering of head. But this is like the crown. That's al-imma is the correct, because the way to be dressed, because it's a crown. A ta'iyya is not crown, a ta'iyya is covering. And the shamla is not crown. That's why the taylasana is the crown of priesthood. But every woman who prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonor her head. Why? Because if the head of woman is man, then as St. Paul would explain, as if we are magnifying humanity in the presence of God. So when the woman cover her head in prayer, they are covering the glory of men. And when men uncover their head, they are revealing the glory of God. Dishonor her head, for that is one and the same if her head were shaved, because it considered dishonor if a woman shaved her head. But if a woman is not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it is shameful for a woman to be shorn or shaved, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, since he is the image and glory of God. So why he does not cover his head? In order, is a symbolism here, to reveal the glory of God, because his head, the head of man is Christ. So when he does not cover his head, he is revealing the glory of Christ. But woman is the glory of man. So when she covers her head, she is covering the glory of humanity in the presence of God. And he explained why he said the head of woman is man, for man is not from woman, but woman from man. Nor was man created for the woman, but woman for the man. For this reason, the woman ought to have a symbol of authority on her head because of the angels. The angels, we read, they have 6 wings. With 2 wings, they cover their faces. With 2 wings, they cover their feet, and they fly with 2 wings. So if the angels cover their head in the presence of God, in order to cover the glory of angels in the presence of God. Woman should not cover the glory of humanity in the presence of God. And lest anyone misunderstood St. Paul that he is saying woman is inferior, verse 11 he said, nevertheless, neither is man independent of woman, nor woman independent of man in the Lord. For as woman came from man, so every man also comes through woman. All of us, we were born from our mothers, women. But all things are from God. Then some people say it's culture. No, it's not. So verses 13 and 14 actually answer it's culture or not. He said, judge among yourself. Is it proper for a woman to pray to God with her hair uncovered? So this actually should be while you are praying in your house, in the church, in vesper, in matins, liturgy, servant meeting, youth meeting, etc. Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man has long hair, it is dishonor to him because he is covering the glory of God? But if a woman has long hair, it is a glory for her hair is given to her for a covering. So even the long hair, God gave it, as a covering to cover the glory of humanity. Then verse 16 conclude it's not cultural. But if anyone seems to be contentious, we have no such custom, nor do the churches of God. He said, this is the teaching, that is what we should do. If anyone is contentious, this is actually not our custom in our church. Just I want to explain this part from 1 Corinthians. Glory be to God forever and ever. Amen.